Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of The Wild Darkness. Today we're going to be doing the magic totem. This is way too long overdue, but between school and me grinding for these totems, I hope that I am not too late. Anyway, we'll jump right into it. So, as always, this is a criteria of how I will be grading each totem. And to start off, for F tier, we have two totems, the Spell Knowledge Totem and the Magic Enchantment Totem. The Spell Knowledge Totem will allow you to start the game knowing some incantations. This means you don't need to identify them, you will recognize them from the get-go. And it will also give you a chance of making an extra incantation when you're crafting them. The reason why I'm putting this into F-tier is that incantations generally don't harm you, so you can safely use them to identify them, and the chance this totem gives for identifying incantations is simply too low. Furthermore, crafting extra incantations is not especially useful. Incantations have a chance to fail, unlike potions. So even if you get an extra one, it's not guaranteed that you can use it. That's why I'm putting it into F tier. Next up, the Magic Enchantment Totem increases chance for better enchantment, but this only works when you're using Magic Essence. It increases the chance of getting good and normal attributes as compared to bad attributes. My problem with this is that the Magic Enchantment Totem only works on Magic Essence and Vision Blueprints. For the Magic Essence, they are rare and they are consumable. You won't be able to trigger the effect of Magic Enchantment that much. As for the Vision Blueprints, I would rather save my gold and silver to craft artifacts than to use them for upgrading a normal weapon. And an easier way to get good enchantments is to simply craft multiple staves and then transfer it using the magic equipment bench. Next up, we have the E-tierls. For E-tier, we have the Lore Keeper Totem. The Lore Keeper Totem gives you a chance to identify items as soon as you pick them up, and it also lowers the failure chance when you're enchanting weapons. Okay, moving on to the D-tiers. First up in D-tier, we have the Magic Amplification Totem. The Magic Amplification Totem increases magical crit chance and damage based on instability. So the higher your magic instability, the higher your magic damage, and the higher your magic crit chance. Now, I will have to say that the increase is very substantial, so it could play a huge role in a fight. However, magic instability is bad. Like, seriously bad. The higher your magic instability, the more energy it takes to cast spells, the higher chance your spell won't cast, or you will cast a random spell, and sometimes instead of casting a spell, you simply take damage, like you hurt yourself. So I feel like magic instability is way too luck based, and the fact that this totem relies on having higher instability, I would not put it higher in the tier list. The next totem in D tier is the Fire Totem. The Fire Totem increases fire damage and increases the duration of fires, so your torch and campfires will last longer. It's in D tier because the boost only applies to fire damage and you only have 3 spells that does fire damage. Its other effect, increasing fire duration, is also not worth it. I cannot think of a time where I would actually use up my entire campfire. Usually I would just cook food, eat, sleep, pack up, leave. So yeah, I really don't see a point to using the Fire Totem. For our last D tier, we have the Battle Mage Totem. The Battle Mage Totem lowers magic instability rate. So this is a very general buff and it lowers the side effects of spamming too much spells in one go, which is great. However, there are other ways you can lower your magic instability, and that's why it's in D tier. Next up, we have the C tiers. The first in C tier is the Frost Totem. The Frost Totem increases frost damage and increases resistance against cold and heat. Now, putting aside the fact that this totem only increases frost damage, I would like to stress how dangerous temperature is in the game. Being able to last longer in a cold temperature and in a hot temperature can buy you precious few turns, which will allow you to warm up or cool down. So for no reason other than the fact this totem is the only totem that allows you to resist temperature, I'm putting it in C tier. Another totem that belongs in C tier is the Alchemy Totem. The Alchemy Totem gives you a chance of crafting extra potions, and you start the game knowing about some potions. Unlike incantations, potions are dangerous to drink, and unfortunately, unless you have an identification scroll, you will have to drink your potions to identify them. Furthermore, because potions are so powerful, being able to craft extras without spending your resources is a great deal. Another totem that belongs in C tier is the Mana Storm Totem. The Mana Storm Totem increases spell energy usage and damage. There's not much to say about this. This is a general buff. You use more energy, but you do more damage. So C tier. Next up in the list, a similar totem is the Magician's Totem. The Magician's Totem lowers magic instability rate and energy consumption when using the same spell consecutively. The lower energy cost and the lower instability rate will allow you to use more spells, which I think is very important for any magician build. That's why I'm putting it in C tier. Next up in C tier, we have the Destruction Magic Totem. The Destruction Magic Totem increases magic damage in general. Once again, not much to say about this, but it's a very general buff that applies to all forms of magic damage, which is why I'm putting it in C tier. Another one in C tier is the Energy Drain Totem. The Energy Drain Totem lowers spell cost by a decent amount. Come on, lower energy equals you can cast more spells. There's really not much to say here, but a lot of these C tier totems kind of build the foundation for a magician build. Though these are not the best totem to use, they are very powerful and general buffs for any magician build out there. Lastly, in C tier, we have kind of a Joker totem, and this is the Incantation Totem. Now, I was told by one of you guys that I should probably consider how effective a totem would be after leveling them up a few times, and not just on level 1. I do add these little descriptions on how powerful the totems will eventually be and how much their effects will increase per level. But the reason why I didn't take into consideration too much on high level totem is the fact that totems can get really hard to level up. For example, the Incantation Totem. The Incantation Totem gives you a chance to not consume an incantation when using it, and it restores energy when you use the incantation. This totem could break the game if you get it to level 8. That's about 100 legendary totems. If you're lucky enough to get 100 legendary totems, or to be more specific, 100 legendary incantation totems, you can literally break this game. Because at level 8, the Incantation Totem will give you a permanent chance of not consuming incantations when using them, and it will restore 1/3 of your energy every time you use an incantation. This basically means unlimited energy and unlimited everything in the game. The following are a few short clips on what it would look like if you had unlimited Earth of Life scrolls, unlimited Great Oracle scrolls, or unlimited magic recharge scrolls. Basically, scrolls are quite powerful, but they come with a very strong drawback, which is they can only be used one time. But if you have a level 8 magic incantation totem, you could literally disregard that and do anything you want in this game. Great Oracle Scroll can heal you to full health, it can give you food, it can give you equipment. You just spam this one as soon as you get it, then bam, you have tier 5 armor, unlimited food, and unlimited full heals. All these things I've been talking about is a level 8 magic incantation totem. But before this magic incantation totem reaches level 8, its effects are pretty much pointless. You'll need to be very lucky to spam your scrolls. That's why I'm only putting it in C tier. Okay, moving on. For our first B tier totem, we have the Poison Totem. The Poison Totem increases poison damage, resists poison's effect, gives you poison resistance, and gives you disease resistance. Other than the fact that it increases poison damage, ignores poison effects, and gives a poison resistance, which in itself is strong enough, it also gives you disease resistance. This is the only totem that will increase your disease resistance. In fact, I believe this is the only item in the entire game that will give you a disease resistance increase. Diseases in the Wild Darkness are fatal. As long as you have these diseases, you will not be able to regenerate any health, and it will lower your maximum health by a certain percentage, which could be very fatal early game and mid game, and even late game, which is why I'm putting this in B tier. Next up in B tier, we have the Electric Totem. The Electric Totem increases electric damage, and gives you evasion and chain attack chance. Once again, we're gonna disregard the electric damage buff because there's only 3 electric spells in the game, and look at the evasion and chain attack increase. Evasion allows you to completely negate damage, and chain attack will allow you to hit multiple times. This is a magic totem that has way more synergy with battle totems than it has with other magic totems. And because of this, I would say this is a powerful magic totem to use if you're not going for the wizard build but you still want something to put in your magic totem. That's why this one is in B tier. Lastly, in B tier, we have the Darkness Totem. The Darkness Totem increases your dark damage and also increases the energy you recover while you are in the darkness. The Darkness Totem allows you to rapidly regenerate energy while you're not under a light source, which in most cases is actually pretty safe, and if you do run into a shadow, you can simply turn on your torch, kill it, then go back in the dark. As I've mentioned, energy is very important for doing all sorts of stuff in the game, especially if you're going for a magician or wizard. Why have I been calling it magician? Wizard build, which uses a lot of energy. I would really suggest the Darkness Totem just for its energy recovery rate. And lastly, in B tier, we have the Concentration Totem. The Concentration Totem decreases mana penalty when magic instability is high, instability side effect is decreased, and magic failure chance is also decreased when your instability is high. What this totem does is that it significantly lowers the effects of magic instability. One way you can see it is that this totem will allow you to continue to cast spells normally when you have high magic instability, or you can see this totem as the core totem for a build that relies on having high magic instability. So if you do have the Concentration Totem, you can pair this up with the Magic Amplification Totem and it would be a killer pair. So as you can see here to our right, I guess, there's only 2 totems left, and this is where it gets exciting. For our A tier, our only A tier, is the Light Totem. The Light Totem increases divine damage and also grants you increased HP and energy regeneration while you are near a light source. What we're looking at here is the boost to your HP and energy recovery. As long as you're near a light source, this means torches, campfires, structures, anything that produces light. So this totem is very easy to trigger, and it basically just gives you increased HP and energy regeneration. Now going back to the divine damage increase, I would say that this is also rather easy to trigger. All you need to do is have a blessed weapon. Blessed weapons aren't exactly super rare. If you're lucky, you can actually craft them by yourself, and all blessed weapons have a small amount of divine damage, which is why I'd say it's pretty accessible. All in all, the Light Totem deserves its spot in A tier. Lastly, my god, this totem is game breaking. We have the Magic Barrier Totem. The Magic Barrier Totem absorbs part of the incoming damage with energy. Now, this description does not do it justice. The Magic Barrier Totem literally blocks damage from all sources. You're sick, the Magic Barrier Totem blocks it. You're stepping on a campfire, the Magic Barrier Totem blocks it. You're freezing, poisoned, bleeding, starving, and the sky splits open and God smites you. It's okay, the Magic Barrier Totem blocks it. You pulled all-nighters studying for a major exam only to find out that you still failed. Well, let's not go there. Anyway, the Magic Barrier Totem blocks damage from all sources. And this is what's so insane about this. At level 3, this totem will basically guarantee that all incoming damage is lowered by 60%. And all of this in exchange for your energy. So as long as you have energy, all damage you take will be significantly lowered. If you can somehow get the Magic Barrier Totem to level 5, which is a much easier standard compared to the level 8 of the Incantation Totem, if you have a level 5, it will block all incoming damage for 1 energy. How insane is that? Anyway, I've rambled on long enough. Well, yeah, there you have it. That was your Magic Totem tier list. I tried my best to be as objective as possible. I also considered higher level totems and not just level 1 totems. But as always, if you disagree, remember this is more suited to my playstyle in the end, and you can always comment your thoughts down below on how you would place each magic totem in the tier list. And as always, till next time.